but you a black man like me. And it's worth something.
This is Blackwatch with Commanding General Yohanna, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he make man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
We don't need a black man in the White House. We need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Blackwatch. Let the show begin.
ISUPK.com is the website. I'm Commanding General Yohanna. I got the helm tonight, and I got the heavy hitters in the building. Full power, full assault on the game. General Muhammad in the building. Give it up. Congratulations on the new boy. You know what I'm saying? Doing it up. You know what I'm saying? Got General Maka Allah in the building. Killing it. You know what I'm saying? And Officer Mariah Diane Ibad holding it down with all the other brothers in the building with us tonight, doing it up like we do. So, a lot going on, man. The war's escalating. The world is coming apart. And the Lord's people are waking up all over the place. So where we going first, y'all? How y'all want to do it? First of all, let me just say this. 2 quick announcements. One, April 2nd, Captain Tazaryak and Malik Shabazz will be throwing down Alhambra Ballroom. Going to be a big event. You understand? Big shout out to Captain Tazaryak. You understand? You know, man, he's going in hard on it. They going in hard on it. Pan-Africa, the whole nine. Captain Tazaryak came through Saturday night, man, joined us in the show, giving us some highlights on what was going to go down. Whew, he got some stuff he can ready to bring out in that lecture, brother, that, you know, it's going to be bad. That's all I can say. So check that out, April 2nd, Alhambra, New York City. We're going to be in the building, man. I got to see this one live. Y'all come check it out. Also, of course, April 14th, 15th, and 16th, the Lord's Passover, Cocoa Beach, Florida. Be in the building. Pay your damn right. Give it up. Pay your Passover fee in advance. Get in the gate. Let's get it on. A lot happening with all of that. The nation is coming really back. The prophecies is right before your eyes. It ain't even that big a mystery no more. We see it happening. Everybody's quoting the scriptures now. I mean, I don't care where they could have been worshiping the moon last week. Now they quoting scriptures, right or wrong, because everybody know that's where you got to go to see what it is the Most High is going to do. So let's get it in for the night you die. What you got for me?
Sir. I want a black child. Black sperm and egg donor shortage creates stumbling block for black women already facing infertility disparity.
Give me a little more.
While black women are twice as likely to be infertile than white women, an additional barrier when seeking assistance reproducing, egg and sperm donor shortages is now excalibrated by the COVID-19 pandemic.
First of all, if I could, that's like the most insane thing I've heard in a long time. I'm going to tell you why. One, black women just 2 decades ago was having more than 10 children at a time. It was not a small thing. The average black woman had 4 children. Most had 6. Forget about in the South. They was 10 to 13 deep in the South. The fact that they saying that black women are infertile, you ain't gonna tell me that don't have nothing to do with the captivity we in. Now, I mean, I know I sound a little conspiratorial, but it's definitely something, a change in the makeup. And I'm gonna tell you another reason. They saying it's infertility, but the whole reason they in them sperm donors is because of the alternative lifestyle. That's what got them up in there. You understand? Black men is as strong and as powerful as they could be in this age. Latinos, Native Indians as well. But all of a sudden, you can't have, there's not enough donors. It ain't enough donors because black men don't go to the bank. They ain't white men. They don't go to the bank to go, look at a magazine in the bathroom of some clinic. You understand? To handle their business in a jar for some strange woman. First of all, it's evil as hell. It's against the scriptures. Am I wrong on that?
If I could, sir, back you up. When they say that black women are twice as likely to be infertile, let me translate the statistic, right? What it means is that black women have more abortions. And with every abortion that you scrape your womb, it makes it less likely for you to have a childbirth.
Damn.
Because each time that you have an abortion, they have to scrape the inside of your womb. And so now when a black woman gets 40 and she feels she's now ready to have a child, she's had 3 abortions and really she can't have a natural child anymore.
Damn.
And here's another stat. Black women, because we're taught not to have children, that it's a crime to have children. Black women who have the means and income wait until they're 35, 37 years old to want a child. By that time, they're infertile.
That's right.
So now, because of that, more of them are infertile than there are white women, because white women have not been told that it's God's will that they have an abortion at 13. And of course, white women feel more financially capable to have a child when they're younger. And a black woman feels financially capable about 37?
Right.
40 years old. She feels like she has enough money to have a child. And that's where the stat comes from. Salaki, sir.
That's a good point. Good point. So it's crazy that they would even come out and say, there's not enough eggs to go around. It shouldn't be no eggs going around. Shouldn't be able to find an egg nowhere. I mean, a sperm donor nowhere. You understand? And I suspect those might be sodomites anyway. I don't know what brothers over there donating like that. That might be sodomites or something. Because I don't know no respectable black man that's just doing that. You understand? It makes absolutely no sense. You're going to submit to the proper way of doing things like the Lord said. You cannot get out of that. You're going to deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, if you think you're going to have a baby and just eliminate us out the game, you're going to be out the game. You go to the lab and you're going to eliminate us out the game because you think it's easier and it's less headache. You ain't got to put up with all that man over the top of you. That's going out the window. In Christ's kingdom, it's going to be illegal. You have an abortion or in vitro fertilization in Christ's kingdom, you're going to get put to death. Okay, according to the scriptures. And if you don't know better, you better know, because you see the war breaking out all over the world. This is what the world better get ready for. The world better get ready for the fact that Christ's kingdom is coming in. You about to see it come in. You ain't got no choice. You can't get around it. So you better start learning them laws, statutes, commandments now, so that you good to go when that time comes. You understand? And if I could add one other thing, just on the sad side. On the sad side is we let the slave master break our ability to build healthy relationships. That's what we did. We let the slave master turn around and brainwash our sisters into having a weird notion of what a man should be like. And the same with brothers. We brothers are being taught to not have to deal with these sisters. I mean, to get them right. And that's a shame that we allowed that to happen to us, to where you got to go to a lab now to try to get your baby to try to have a child. You know what I mean? What a mess we done become. What a backwards mess we've become as a people. But the Most High gonna get us right on it, man. And it's true. Go ahead, please.
And I know all the more black women in the more black conscious groups trying to chase down their own Bartholin gland. I thinking you can get yourself pregnant. I guess you up in them clinics now too, because you've been trying to get yourself pregnant, and you say, "God damn it, I need a man." So now you're going to the clinic too, huh? You just show all that was garbage. You know.
And if I could, General Mayat, this story is like so many stories that we're going to do and have done. This is really the embodiment of the entire civil rights movement. If I could, sir. Please. The civil rights movement, in essence, is this: black people, mainly rich black people, getting angry because they can't do the same sin that white people do.
Yeah.
And that's the civil rights movement. Yeah. Black women are now angry that they can't have abortions, throw away their husband, and still have a man, because white women are able to do it. And so now there'll be a news story because some black woman who had an abortion because she didn't think that the baby's father would be a good father. Now she's going to a clinic and she wants no father. There, if you go get your baby from a sperm donation, the child has no father. And now you're ready. Now you're ready for a baby with no father. But the abortion that you had when you were 17 was why? Because he wasn't going to be around, because he had that other woman, because he was going to be a bad father. Well, at 35, you're ready for the sperm and no daddy. What if you just kept the baby from the brother who wasn't going to be around?
Exactly.
You could have just had that kid and still had no daddy. But now at 37, you got a womb that can't bear a child, and you don't give a damn if you get a daddy or not for the kid. You can't be like white people, and you shouldn't fight to be like them. It hurts us as a people if we can do what white people do. If we can commit murder and get away with it, it hurts us.
Yeah.
If we can sell drugs and not go to jail like white people, it hurts us. If we can commit lewd acts of sin and sex and get treated just like white people, it hurts us. If you can throw away your husband, have no family, have no father, and still go and buy sperm, then we're not going to have families.
That's right.
That's what that means. That means that we will have no families at all because you didn't want the child. You didn't want his brother because he wasn't good enough, but you need the sperm that he left in some office. You're going to have a family to have a baby girl. You're going to have a man to have a family. That's kind of the whole point, right? I mean, damn. I know white people don't need to. I know they can go get pregnant at 57 years old, go to the doctor and have a giant baby at 57, but you might need a father and sex. You can have that too now. That's part of the whole thing. Sex and happiness and a family. You shouldn't be like white people all the time. You should do something that's better. So lucky, sir.
So get out of the clinic. Keep it going.
This young man feared for his life. Georgia man stand your ground claim thrown out in case of deadly shooting of white teen amid alleged racist road rage incident.
Read again.
Colonel McCon, sir. This young man feared for his life. Georgia man stand your ground claim thrown out in case of deadly shooting of white teen amid alleged racist road rage incident.
Give us a little of that incident.
Colonel McCon. Mark Wilson, 23, the man at the center of an alleged racist road rage incident that left a 17-year-old girl dead on June 14th, 2020, is finally out of jail on bond after spending more than a year and a half behind bars. But his fight for freedom is far from over when I tell you, he says on June 14th, Wilson, who is biracial, was driving with his girlfriend in Statesboro, Georgia, which is about 50 miles northwest of Savannah. Wilson says as he was driving, a pickup truck with 4 white people inside, including Haley Hutchison, 17, were allegedly intoxicated and taunted Wilson with racial slurs, and the driver nearly drove Wilson off the road. Wilson responded by firing his gun towards the truck, killing Hutchinson. Wilson claimed self-defense using Georgia's stand your ground law, but at an immunity hearing last Friday, a judge, Ronald Thompson, denied Wilson's stand your ground claim.
That's another story where black people have to realize that you're not going to be treated like a white man in court. That's not going to happen. If you have the right to carry a gun and you have a license, just think of it like this: you have a black license to carry a gun, and it's good for that to be in your mind. You don't have the white license to carry a gun. That's a whole different kind of license. That's a whole stand your ground, self-defense. You got the black or Hispanic license to carry a gun, which is a whole different kind of license.
Right. And in essence, it's what's sad about it is it may save your life, but it may not save you from jail.
Oh, yeah.
You got to understand that when you have that gun license, you now have the opportunity to possibly save your life in a deadly situation, but more than likely you're going to jail anyway. But at least you'll live. At least you'll live. Like they in there drunk, running him off the road. You understand? In a climate that's so racist in America, he's scared to death, thinking they're gonna hurt him or kill him or do something to him. And so, of course, rather than wait for them to run him off the road again, possibly make him crash and kill him, he decided, man, I got to stop them, and opened up on them. And I, to be honest with you, I can't be surprised at that. If I'm driving on the road, I imagine myself driving on the road and 4 Edomites come up and try to run me off the road. I'm going to jail. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to let them just take my life just for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's sad, but you got to also know that, yeah, you may end up locked up. But you know what? If that weapon that you have saves your life and you don't get, and you got to get locked up, then so be it. Because you got, long as you legally had that weapon, then you did the right thing. And he did the right thing. If it's true they ran him off the road, which I don't see why he would have fired on them just for being drunk in the car. You understand? More than likely, and that's an Edomite way to do stuff anyway. Same way they ran down Ahmaud Arbery. Like that pickup truck gives them a sense of confidence that they normally don't have. They get in the back of that pickup truck and that 4x4 bouncing over stuff. It do something in that animal, brother, that makes him think he can kill and murder anybody. Yeah. And I see that kind of thing, and especially in the South, they testing you. They pulling you, cursing you out and testing you to see what they can do with you. Yeah. Is that because really a lot of times they want to bring back them old Southern ways where they was catching black people and lynching them for several reasons. We done had plenty of lynchings with these Edomites who was lynching brothers, and they saying, well, it wasn't no lynching. The person committed suicide. It's a damn lie. Black people don't go to the park and hang themselves, you understand, to commit suicide. That ain't how we do it. You understand? And they know it. So if you licensed, you licensed. Somebody tried to run you off the road and trying to do you like a statistic and hang you, I don't see how you could not defend your life. But you are going to end up in jail because, of course, if it's them, stand your ground always works. But when it comes to you, you ain't never supposed to stand your ground because you ain't equal to them. You know what I mean?
And if I can, just recently in Minneapolis, the police pulled over a sister, right? And as she getting her license and things, he noticed in her wallet there's a permit to carry license. He drew on her and was justified afterwards, saying he saw she had a permit to carry, even though she wasn't armed at the time. But he pulled that gun because, again, like y'all said, she got the black permit to carry.
Yeah,
you understand? And that ain't the same as white people's permit to carry.
Exactly.
And he can draw down on it because of that.
Right. Like that licensed weapon is strictly for you to deliver your life. And you should never play with it. If you license to carry, you should never play with that weapon unless your life is in danger. And you should know your life is in danger. And then you just got to suffer the consequences of going to the penitentiary. Because it's better that than you dying. And it's better than them having a good old drunk time and wasting your life by hanging you in a damn tree. They hang you in a tree, get drunk, have a good time. And for them, it was a night partying. For you, it's the end of your damn life. Yeah. And they go on because they white. They don't turn around and go to jail. They don't go to jail. They don't get locked up. They don't even get charged. They don't even get hunted down in many cases. But you end up hanging on a tree. They get to talk about it to their friends and laugh and joke. Nah, brother, nah. The Lord give you a right. Every animal on this earth has some mechanism to watch for danger or fight for danger. It is a natural instinct in every animal on this earth. There ain't no animal on this earth that readily allows you to kill them. You walk up, even the most gentlest one, a sheep, which the Lord called us, even a sheep, if you walk in the sheep pen, the sheep gonna back away. They're gonna be like, what's this? What's that? That's every animal. Go in the chicken coop. Same thing. Every animal will defend itself when it believes its life is in danger. Only problem is You being trained to never defend yourself, to never deliver yourself. When that's not right, man. And that's why Christ is going to bring destruction on this kingdom, man. So yeah, it's a sad thing. Like you say, man, I mean, like, he carrying black. That's a different story. You know what I mean? That's a whole different story. Okay. But if you're gonna carry, understand you better only pull it if your life is in danger. And if you pull it, don't think you're going home. Don't just assume you're going home because you pulled it righteously on an Edomite. You know what I mean?
If I could, sir. And that's why a lot of you are making a mistake by watching all of them gun nuts on the internet thinking that you one of them.
Yes.
You making a terrible mistake by watching all that Colin Noir and Joe Rogan and all these gun people thinking that you some old patriot and you can just pull your gun when you feel in fear of your life. You're going to jail forever. You're going to have to be black with a permit, Hispanic with a permit. And sir, it's like a skill. It's like anything. You buy a gun, it's legal. You have a right to carry it. You're in a state where you can carry, but you also have to make sure you don't shoot your damn self when you're cleaning it, right? You got to make sure that you're being wise so that this gun doesn't cause you to get killed. Make sure your wife doesn't get it when she goes to your phone. Start with that, because that's what's more than likely to happen. Your wife gets it when she goes to your phone. Your child gets it because you're drunk and you left it on the damn table, or you shoot your damn fool ass in the face because you were cleaning yourself and you forgot there was one in the chamber. That's what's more present, and that's the danger in front of you. So you're going to be careful that you don't hurt yourself with this gun. And if you're black and if you're in danger, have a cause to know I'm not what's the peacekeepers?
Right.
They're going to put me in jail. So I'm taking an extra care to make sure I'm right.
Right.
Because I will not get the benefit of the doubt. They killed that brother. The police kicked in the door to his friend's house. He's on the couch. He picks up his gun in the house. They kill him in 2 seconds. He had a permit to carry. And of course, this wasn't even outside the house. This was in the house. Did the NRA protest? Was there a march on Washington? Did Colin Noir and Joe Rogan say he was a gun owner? You shouldn't kill him. No one said anything because he's black. So he doesn't have the right that preppers and gun enthusiasts have. They're not going to care about him getting killed. So you're going to have a little extra practicality, a little extra sense of, I can't get killed, so I'm going to defend myself.
All of the evidence.
If I'm Ahmaud Arbery, it's better that I go to court than that these white men go to court for killing me.
That's right.
It's better that I go say, hey, I got a permit, and they chased me down while I was jogging, and I killed them, but here's my proof that I was right. It's better to be fighting a case than for your murderers to be fighting a case. But at the same time, don't act like you have the right of the Proud Boys to pull your gun and that the police will give you the benefit of the doubt. You're going to have an extra level of practicality because you're black and Hispanic.
Right.
If you know you too emotional, don't get a gun from it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Good.
And careless as hell. Like, again, you think you Proud Boys or one of them gun-toting patriots trying to have a house full of guns with gremlin kids running around. Little 9-year-old just got mad at his cousin and murdered his 17-year-old cousin.
Dang.
A couple days ago. You know what I'm saying? Went and got the gun, knew where it was at, and popped his cousin over a video game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can't be that type.
Yeah, you gotta know what you're doing. And and again, only if your life is in danger. But I can't blame that brother. Like, they sit up there trying to run me off the road, brother. And you up in there talking about nigga this and nigga that, and some pickup truck trying to cut me off, run me off the road. I got to make a decision. You know what I mean? I got to make an absolute decision. Is my life in danger? That's
that a white man doesn't have to make.
Exactly. He never.
He's not struggling with that.
No, he ain't got to never like if they fired on him, he would be the one going to jail. If they fired on him and the incident was over, they'd have just said, well, he was doing A, B, and C, and he'd still be the one going to jail.
And weren't they 2 white women? They could have killed him easy. They wouldn't have gotten arrested.
Wouldn't have been no issue. And let me tell you something. It's white people are too comfortable with abusing us. That's why the Edomite Karens running around cursing brothers out, calling cops on brothers, doing all kind of dirty shit because they so comfortable abusing us. They've had us in an abusive situation for 400 years. They're extremely comfortable with it. And thanks be to the Lord that tide is changing now.
Oh, yeah.
And when we start to separate from them, believe you me, just like what happened with Martin Luther King when we stopped getting on that bus, the more we got away from them, the more angry they got. They don't tell you about all the beatings and the riots that was taking place over them buses. We stopped getting on them buses, man, and them Edomites was mad as hell. The sheriff tried to order black people to ride the white bus.
Oh, yeah.
Like they start pulling over, like black people started carpooling. That's where carpooling came from,
right.
Us in the 60s. And we start carpooling. They start pulling over all the cars and making everybody late for work and ordering them to go take the bus. Why are you in this car? Which you totally supposed to have the right to do, but they in your face, guns out, dragging people out of cars because they were hurting. And believe you me, as you wake up and come into this truth, they are going to be hurting over this. And as they hurting over it, they're going to be trying to demand their whiteness over the top of you. And brother, it's going to be times that it's going to get dangerous. You know what I'm saying? But I can't say I'm mad at that brother, man. They trying to run him off the road. White people like to get drunk and do their favorite pastime, beat a nigga to death. That's their favorite fun when they getting drunk. You understand? Is putting you down. That's their go-to all the time. Putting you down. They can't wait to get Donald Trump back in office. They get Donald Trump back in office. I told you in Tennessee, was it Tennessee? They passed the law, or they haven't passed the law yet, but they proposing a law that everybody that carries a gun becomes a deputy, which means every citizen, male, female, young, old, all of them get to carry a damn, if you got a license for a gun, you a deputy, which means you could lock a Negro up anytime you want. And once again, it would be fine if it was fair, meaning it would be fine if they weren't locking brothers up, constantly putting charges on them so that you could not get a gun permit. You got brothers with all kind of petty charges on them, getting pulled over in the car and ending up with felonies, you understand, on a car stop, simply to make sure that you do not get the license to carry. So that when they pass the law, it'd be so few of you that have the license that basically they'd be running the whole situation. And then you be the one without the gun and without the license, and they'd be coming around locking you up. Like, this is an evil place, man, that you living in. And your black preacher and your leaders have made you believe that you are in a wonderful place, that you are in a wonderful, nice, beautiful place when you need to wake up. The place you living in is extremely dangerous for you. And only through the grace and most mercy of the Lord and these scriptures do you know how to survive in this place. Your people are dying and being destroyed every day, and it's being done so sophisticated, you don't even know where it comes from. You blame your own. You need to become aware of what it is that you're doing in this society, man, and aware of what is being done to you in this society. So if you can have that permit, have it, but also be educated on it so that you know what you're doing, because these people, man, these people are ridiculous. I mean, they just shooting us down the streets, you know, on a regular. And then now you're going to make untrained regular citizens. Some guy 75 years old with a gun permit. Now he's the sheriff. He's a deputy. That means that's basically saying we're going to give every white person the opportunity to exercise all their anger on black people.
Damn right.
Like every one of them Edomites that want to just do something to black people because they hate them so much. Now they can go ahead and do it. And brother, that's exactly what went on in Egypt. So long.
You better not park in a handicap spot.
Oh, forget it.
Boy, them old devils gonna come out with their gun, deputized. Say, nigga, you get out of that spot. It's like the cat killed the brother in front of his baby. In front of his kid, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And totally legal. He deputized. He's doing something illegal, parking in the handicap spot, and he don't have a plate. He told him to leave. You know what I'm saying? And he walked towards him and shot him. You know what I'm saying? And that's that.
And let me tell you something about Edomites too. Edomites, okay, are a nation that is full of war. Okay, tell you that in Deuteronomy, that they full of war. And they need an enemy all the time. And the problem is they done conquered the world. And now that they sitting on top of the world, there's really no enemy for them to be hate and furious with.
Yeah.
So they need you to be that. They need you to be that enemy. You already poor and broken and in the ghetto, but they need somebody to be like, yo, we got to deal with this. They need somebody. That's why they love Donald Trump. They need somebody to say, we got to take our country back, man. They need that. They got to, because they like it, like any animal, they got to live like an animal. And the problem is you done been so peaceful to them, so loving to them. You done submitted yourself to them so much that they got nobody to fight. So they got to create an enemy. They got to create somebody to hate and turn on. And the problem is you're it. Not for now, because you got Ukraine now. Finally, they got somebody to feel like, we got to help ourselves. We got, the Ukrainians. Like right now, they're going to cry for the Ukrainians. But that war end, if that war end, then you better watch out. Because they ain't going to have nobody else to hate. And they're going to feel a loss of whiteness. Yeah. Like Putin is bombing Ukraine out like it's Iraq. He bombing. He done arrested 2 mayors, He got 2 mayors. He locking mayors up like they drug dealers, like they selling dope. Like he doing them Edomites like they've done to dark nations all over the world. And they do not like it. And as a result of it, that's what's bringing some sadness to them. And that's the only thing that makes them back off a little bit for now. But watch what happens when this is over. When this part of this Third World War is over and they move into a different sector, watch what happens next. So, Lockie, where we going next, y'all?
Says no evidence of racist attitudes. Travis and Gregory McMichael appeal federal case on grounds that Ahmaud Arbery's killing didn't happen in public streets.
I remember.
Yeah, we passed on that. Right? You don't remember?
For sure. If you remember, it's fine. Pass.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was there appeal. When we were saying it was their appeal, we weren't going to deal with that.
Pass.
Yeah. Pass on that one, yeah.
Russia seeking military aid from China.
Brother, this is the thing to watch. The thing to watch is what happens outside of Ukraine. What happens outside of me, because you was about to say something slow. What happens outside of Ukraine is very, very, very important. Very important. And if they get help from China, it's because he already knows that the West is getting ready to pour so much weapons in there. They're pouring billions of dollars of weapons into Ukraine. He already knows it. So now he's going to China to get more weapons. And brother, if he gets them weapons over there in China, that means this war is going to escalate. I mean, he's gonna probably take about half of Ukraine and fall back and just own half of the country and turn it into a full-out war zone against the other half of the country, which will be on the west side. Like he gonna turn that thing into he gonna get the buffer zone that he wants. And brother, it's going to be on. Go ahead. You was gonna say something? No, go ahead out. Give me a little of the story if you could.
Khan. A U.S. official said Russia asked China for military equipment to use in its invasion of Ukraine. A request that heightened tensions about the ongoing war ahead of a Monday meeting in Rome between top aides for the U.S. and Chinese governments.
And it's so much at stake for this reason. The Chinese need Russia to win so that they have justification to go into Taiwan. And the West needs Russia to lose so that China won't go into Taiwan. At least they hope he won't. So the stakes are high. And brother, that's the Most High caring about his people. Yeah. Like you in the dungeon of what did the Lord call it? The iron what? The iron furnace or the iron dungeon or something?
Furnace sounds right.
Yeah, iron furnace. You in this iron furnace, the Most High is going to pull you out of this head.
Yeah.
Go ahead, up.
In advance of the talks, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan bluntly warned China to avoid helping Russia evade punishment from global sanctions that have hammered the Russian economy.
Right. In other words, they arrogant. I got to give it to them. They arrogant as hell. Like they putting sanctions on Russia, and arms into Ukraine, but telling China, don't you get involved. Don't you get involved. Don't you bring arms. We bringing arms to the Ukrainians. Don't you bring arms to the Russians. Like, that is bold. That's some bold talk. You know what I'm saying? Which, of course, is just going to lead to more of this. Them cities over there burning. If you notice, all over the news, they switched. They was showing a lot of the war. Now they showing a ton of humanitarian stories about the victims and the people being killed. They stopped a ton of that shooting stuff because they ain't telling you that they bombing the hell out of the Capitol right now. They bombing that Capitol like crazy. But they try not to show you all that bombing. They'll show you, they bomb a hospital or they kill this guy over here. But man, they in there bombing. They said they shot 90 missiles into the capital city. 90. That means there's about 100 fires going on in that city right now. And you see the craters that the missiles bring, brother. Them craters, this is the Third World War biblical prophecy. Here it is. Mm-hmm. You want to know whether or not the Lord, and listen, and no other religion can take claim over this book, man. That Bible's a black man's book, and nobody can take claim over that book. That book is the one that brought the prophecies forth through the grace and mercy of the Lord by raising up prophets of God. And nobody else has been able to do that. And it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing in the eyes of the Most High, because it's going to bring the earth back into order. Remember what the scripture said? The scripture said, and the nations shall learn war no more. Oh, yeah. After all this, ain't going to be no more war, because every heathen is going to know to stay in his border. He's going to know he can't go outside his border, because the Lord know, like any heathen, if you let them, they'll take over everybody's territory. They'll go overthrow everybody's land. Any heathen. That's why he gave them all a chance. Now they all gonna get put back into their land, and they ain't gonna never cross out that border again. You ain't gonna never have to go to China and worry about China ruling somebody else's land. The Edomites, they going right back up, right up there where they was at, right up there where they were fighting that war at, in Chechnya and southern Ukraine and Crimea. They going right back there. That's their homeland. That's where they from. Russia. That's it. Georgia, Russia, all that. They're going right back up there between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, above the Gulf of Aqaba. That's their homeland. They're going right back home, man, where they belong. And all the nations going back into their land. And it's going to be right on this earth, which means we need to be right. Go ahead, give us some more. Y'all jump in, please. No, please.
You there? Sir? It says, in advance, Security Advisor Jake Sullivan bluntly warned China to avoid helping Russia evade punishment from global sanctions that have hammered the Russian economy. He said, we will not allow that to go forward. He said, and China, in turn, accused on Monday the U.S. of spreading disinformation. The prospect of China offering financial help and one of several concerns for President Joe Biden, a U.S. official speaking on the condition of anonymity, to discuss sensitive matters, said that in recent days, Russia had requested support from China, including military equipment to press forward on its ongoing war with the Ukraine. The official did not provide details on the scope of the request. The request was first reported by the Financial Times and the Washington Post.
And who knows if it's even true? I don't see Russia needing help from China to bomb Ukraine. I just don't see it. Russia got more nuclear weapons than any country on this earth. You think they don't got other military weapons? Right. They got just as much military weapons as the United States. Have you ever heard the United States have to go to anybody for help when they prosecuting a war or a battle? I don't see it. Okay. You know what I mean? Unless the United States is in that war. General.
And like you said, they say the Russian side, they saying a lot of that news is propaganda.
Yeah.
Like they showing pregnant, like, oh, look what Putin doing, pregnant women and all the babies are stranded. He said, oh, they are actors and all that propaganda from America.
Right.
A lot of it.
You know what I mean? They ain't talking about them busloads of missiles coming in there through the Polish border. They ain't talking about none of that. You know what I mean? Like, they in it good and deep, and it's beautiful, man. It's right. Go ahead, Salagi. Was that it on that story? Y'all good? Let's keep going.
Go ahead. Come. Russian footholds in Mideast Africa raise threat to NATO.
Let's read about this.
Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine dominates world attention. But with less global scrutiny, Putin is also advancing Russia's presence in the Middle East and Africa, an expansion that military and civilian leaders view as another, if less immediate, threat to security in the West.
Once again, that sounds like propaganda. Is that new, or is that something they've been doing? Like everybody's in Africa. Every country with wealth and power is in Africa, gobbling up China is all in Africa. They calling the new Silk Highway in China, correct? They calling the new Silk Highway in China. Go ahead, sound like more of the same. And listen, and I was surprised, just if I could, I was shocked at how coordinated they were in the media. Like, I knew that they controlled the media, but I was shocked to see how 1 week they was showing all the bombing, and the next week, I mean, almost worldwide, all the stories went humanitarian. I mean, in India, in England, in France, Germany, it was like a coordinated effort where all of them came together and switched the doctrine on what they were bringing out. So that joint is coordinated like I can't even explain. So this is probably the same. Go ahead.
Putin's strategy in the Mideast and in Africa has been simple and successful. He seeks out security alliances with autocrats, coup leaders, and others who have been spurned or neglected by the U.S. and Europe, either because of their bloody abuses or because of competing Western strategic interests. In Syria, Russia's defense minister last month showed off nuclear-capable bombers and hypersonic missiles over the Mediterranean, part of a security partnership that now has Kremlin threatening to send Syrian fighters to Ukraine.
Dang. If I could, sir, one thing. And these stories, I think back about how many years you told us this was going to happen. That whole thing in Africa, you said this many times about how that war was going to come into Africa. How Africa, what was a country? It was. I know
Yemen
was definitely one of the countries. Saudi Arabia. How this was going to, and this
Morocco,
was like
all of that, Libya,
years ago.
Right.
How this was going to spill into Africa, and how Yemen was going to get involved, and the entire everything I watch on the news, I heard you say for 25 years.
Most incorrect.
This exact same thing, and I watch it. I think to myself, when are white people going to be as ashamed of the news as black people had to be for all these years? Black people had to look at the news, I mean, since what, the 70s or 50s, and be ashamed of how we were in the news for gang violence. Chicago had to feel the brunt of being ashamed because how we're killing each other in Chicago. We're all killing each other. The Crips and the Bloods. Chicago, LA, all of the murder capital, and how blacks and Hispanics had to watch the news for years and be ashamed because we committed crimes when we were poor. Now, at the tail end of the COVID-19 virus, all of a sudden, everybody wants to fight each other. Maybe they need money. Like maybe China needs some cash. Maybe God, China, that COVID-19, they in there locked in their houses, I think now.
Right.
In China.
Yeah.
Poor. Maybe Russia needs that gas price to go up.
Right.
Maybe everybody is feeling poverty. And maybe they'll understand why we shoot each other in Chicago or in Los Angeles. Maybe they should be ashamed. Maybe we could all look down on them and go, white on white crime. White on white crime. God. You know what? Let's get somebody to sing about all this.
Right.
Can we get some choirs together and sing about the Ukraine? And maybe that will stop people from fighting. Because I remember them telling us that if we change music, if we sung songs about peace, that people would stop needing money.
We are the world.
We are the world. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Maybe we should all sing. And maybe the singing would stop Russia and China and America from needing money. Somehow I don't think that works. Somehow I think human beings need water and food and a place to live. And if they don't get it, their base nature can take over.
Yeah.
Maybe white people should be more like us. Maybe they should learn to do without. You know what white people should do in the Ukraine and in Russia and Chinese people in China? Stop all that shooting and go to school. That's what you Ukrainians need to do. You Russians need to go to college.
Yeah.
Get your ass in college, you Russians. Get in college and get yourself a career instead of fighting and shooting each other. What's wrong with you over there? What's wrong with you? You can't get a job? You Russians? You need a job. What's wrong with you all the time? Shooting each other and fighting. Look at you. Oh my, no wonder you got to get shot by the authorities, by the military. The military is afraid for their life.
Right.
No wonder the cops are shooting you because they're afraid for their life. What are you wearing? Are you Russians wearing hoodies? I got a feeling you wearing hoodies over there. I got a feeling you Ukrainians are wearing hoodies.
And eating Skittles.
Are you eating Skittles and wearing hoodies? You scare people.
Right.
People don't know what they cross the street when you walk down one side of the street.
Yeah.
They go on the other side of the street in the Ukraine because they're afraid of you. You know what black people should look at? You should see how white people behave when they're in trouble.
Yeah.
When they're poor. When they're threatened, they kill everyone in the city and bomb the city to non-existence. And when you look at that, now you can tell yourself, when I'm poor, I won't be like them. We don't have to be like them in Chicago. We don't have to be like them in Los Angeles and St. Louis and Philadelphia. We don't have to murder because we don't know how to live together in peace. We don't have to be like white people. White people cannot live together in peace. White people are uncivilized. White people can't talk to each other.
Right.
They can't make a concord with one another.
Why they can't work it out?
What? They can't. They can't work it out. They can't just work it out. They can't sit down and talk to each other.
They need conflict resolution
They
school.
need conflict resolution. They need it. They all need it. Maybe one day we'll see that we can't be like white people.
Right.
And maybe one day white people will be forced to be like us. Maybe that's what this is all coming to.
Yeah.
So I can, sir.
Damn right.
Please.
Damn right.
Yediah.
That's what it's coming to.
Please.
China's virus cases rise. Access to Shanghai tightened.
There you go.
Damn, they got.
Yeah, there you go. And now Russia, like now everybody's poor. They feeling what it feels like in the ghetto. When you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from.
Right.
When you don't have enough. When you don't think you can make ends meet, and that stress makes you go to violence. The stress of that feeling, and that we all feel, and that we complain about it. People say, well, you just need to just get a job.
Right.
You need to just go to school and get a job.
You just need education.
You just need an education. But when they feel it, they're going to invade a country.
Yeah.
They're going to do it because they're not black and Hispanic.
And it's such a damn shame when you say these people are oppressing me. They say, don't blame the white man. Like, don't like if you suffering, you can't say I'm suffering. When they suffering, they're going to bomb a whole country.
Don't blame the Russians.
Right. Don't blame the Russians.
Don't blame
them.
them.
Man, stop blaming them. You know, pick yourself up by your bootstraps
There
and get a job, get to work, be better people. You know what I'm saying? Be better people. Like that's what they say to us, and it shows you how much is a joke. And if I could to add what you're saying, it also shows you how misguided black leaders are, because black leaders believe that that's the key. See, we got to get more education out there. We got to get people in school. The youth got to get into school. When just like you brought out, which was so right, you saying all that, but people are starving. And human nature kicks in when you're starving. But you telling people to ignore that they starving and ignore human nature. Instead, go to school with the hopes that they will eventually succeed and do better. Not that there's nothing wrong with going to school. But if you believe that school is the end all for poverty and suffering and the death that we're suffering, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that another nation is ruling over us and that they are eating us alive. Right. And what's so sad is that no black leader ever say that the solution is to get them off of our neck. That's never the damn solution. The solution is always somehow find your way further into their system and be more a part of their system, and then things will work out. Well, Zelensky need to work harder with the Russians. They need to come together as one. We are the world. You understand? Like that's what the hell they need to do. Like what you're saying is so heavy in that they should do that, because that's what they are requiring of us. And that shows you that we are so right and that our leaders are so off, because they telling us to do something that Edomites would never have to do.
Right.
They would be never required to do it.
If I could, sir, why would you pray for the Ukraine when this conflict, let me help the Ukrainians right now. Listen carefully, Ukrainians. Work on your jump shots. Get your basketball game together. Get your raps together.
Right. Get out the hood.
The Ukrainians need to start rapping and shooting jump shots.
That's right.
Because that's what we were told.
And go to college.
Go to college. You need to, first of all, get a job, you Ukrainians. And then you need to get to college and become nurses. All of you Ukrainians need to go be nurses. And the ones of you that can't need to go rap. God. This war is going to create amazing Ukrainian rappers and basketball athletes.
That's right.
The NBA is going to be full of what's the name? Give me a Ukrainian name. Yugoslav Makrumpovic. Right. And he's going to be the power forward for the LA Lakers, because they will now go through the poverty that we go through. Look, and they're going to practice their jump shots.
Look, two of the mayors are ex-boxers. That one of them fought Mike Tyson.
How did I forget the boxing?
And quit in the fight with Mike.
How did I forget?
They should all get in the gym.
Come on, man.
I remember in the 70s, they used to fill the gyms fill the hoods with little gyms. Y'all remember that?
Oh, yes.
The YMCA.
Yes.
Back that time, the YMCA had gyms. Now they got little, bodybuilding, But back then, it was an old greasy, dirty gym. You had to go up in there and just scrap. Everything was ripped up and taped up. It was a mess. But that's what they used to have. So what you saying?
You Ukrainians, you got to make it out of Kiev.
Yeah.
You gotta make it out of Kiev, straight out of Kiev,
out of the hood.
You gotta get straight out of Kiev, and you got to get your rapping together, your beats together, and your jump shots together, and you're gonna be just fine.
That's right.
Have that talk with your children.
That's right.
Stop resisting.
Come on.
When Putin and his people come, put your hands
on the steering wheel.
Don't resist.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Be compliant.
Now.
Learn to get and then go to church.
Oh,
go to church. You know what I'm saying? Learn to forgive.
That's the real problem.
Learn to accept everything.
You Ukrainians need God in your life.
Yeah, you need Jesus.
That's what you need. That's why you're out there acting like that.
God.
That's why you're in them streets like that. You Ukrainians, you need Jesus in your life. You're in them streets.
Picking up guns and fighting
Molotov cocktails and AK-47. You need Jesus in your life.
Amen.
Won't he do it?
Well,
I heard he does it.
Ain't he good?
What's that in Russian?
Ain't he good?
What's he doing? What's that? And you can Waskavev Kozovatev.
Hallelujah.
All the time. If I could, sir. They need to have a 1 million man march on Moscow.
No violence. Marching. Where are the marchers? I ain't heard about no marchers. Where the marchers at in Kiev?
We shall.
Nobody holding hands. No marchers. No candles. No candles. Everybody holding candles.
Where's the Ukrainian Martin Luther King
at?
God. Where's he at? You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, like, boy, that's such a good point, man. Like it shows you so much how the prescription that they gave to us was a joke, because nobody's following that prescription. Nobody's following that prescription, and except us, and it have done absolutely nothing for us. You know what I'm saying? And the ones of us that did become successful basketball players and rappers and so forth, we look at them like they are the leaders when they did something that help do nothing, but get them a good job. When what we need is leadership under your house shot. That's how we fix this problem. That's a good ass point you brought out. Go ahead, Al. Good point right there.
Chernobyl power line damaged by Russian forces.
Nuclear mess going on over there, brother. And it was like if you saw the footage, it was like a full out ghetto fight. They got the cat over the loudspeaker saying, "Please do not shoot at the nuclear material." Meanwhile, they outside behind rocks and behind cars. It was a drive-by on that damn nuclear power plant. Go ahead, give me a little more on it.
Khan,
It was a joke, and they didn't even care. The ones shooting at it. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. The Ukrainian state power company says the power line supplying the site of the 1986 Chernobyl nuclear disaster has been damaged by Russian forces again after it was repaired.
They damaged it again. I mean, showing they're going to take control of it. Once again, I don't know what they was thinking. 3 nuclear power plants on their border. Why in the hell would they believe that he wouldn't invade the country if they tried to turn on him? That was ridiculous. Go ahead.
Khan, the Ukraine Negro Company said in a statement Monday that its technicians had started to supply power Sunday evening, but before the power supply was fully restored, the occupying forces damaged it again.
Damn. So they were trying, so they keeping them in a blackout. They keep shutting that thing off. Go ahead.
Khan. They say they will attempt another repair. The power is used to feed pumps and other equipment, which keeps spent nuclear fuel at the former power plant cool to prevent radiation leaks.
Brother, they getting ready to do that place in. You know, man. All right, let's keep going. What else we got, yo? Maybe we should do one of those. It's 10 o'clock. What was a big story? India. Something about India. Go ahead.
India accidentally fires a missile at Pakistan.
Damn.
It's bad time.
Damn. Like, them two been in a beef for the longest. Go ahead. Once again, this could spread. And if it does, it's the end of the world, man.
Khan.
Go ahead.
One nuclear-armed state fired a cruise missile at another nuclear-armed state this week. They were not at war and did not start one. On Friday, India acknowledged that one of its missiles had mistakenly been fired into Pakistan 2 days earlier.
That's amazing. And of course, sir, the Pakistanis and the Indians are the exact same race of people.
Yes, they are.
Divided by a religion and the region that they live in. And they've been waiting to kill each other since 1934.
Yeah.
And they cannot wait. And of course, they're over there practicing, getting ready, waiting for the Third World War to kick off so they can kill each other because they don't forgive. They don't put things in the past. They don't do what we do. So they're watching the news like all of us. And I'm sure doing drills and getting ready. And oops. One went flying during one of those drills, and it was a big mistake because they're waiting to kill each other since Mahatma Gandhi tried to talk him out of it. And oh, yeah, the Pakistanis killed Mahatma Gandhi. They killed him, the man of peace. They killed him, slaughtered him because they desperately can't wait to kill each other. India is on the side of America. Pakistan, I believe today, you can correct me if I'm wrong, sir. Pakistani, I think, is Magog or on the side of Russia.
Oh, yeah. But now India did go over to and meet with Russia.
That's true.
Now, I mean, all of it's weird because the sides is switching.
It is.
You know what I mean? America went and talked to Venezuela and they talking to Iran. It's like they trying to all switch sides. And whoever Saudi Arabia didn't take no phone calls. I mean, he did not take Biden's phone call.
Yikes.
Him and the president of the United Arab Emirates. That's embarrassing as hell. You the U.S. president. You call Saudi Arabia and they do not take your call. That's embarrassing as hell. So it's hard to say, like you saying, the sides switching up.
That's like
so
Christ
you don't
said,
know who's who. Go ahead.
That's like Christ said, the end is not yet.
Right.
What you're seeing is the beginning of the Third World War, but we ain't there yet.
Ain't fully there
it's
yet.
Working its way out, and it is glorious.
It sure is.
But in the end, everybody who wanted to kill each other since the continents formed, they're waiting to do it.
Yep.
And India and Pakistan have been waiting to kill each other with nuclear weapons since the World War II.
Yeah.
They've been waiting
Since they got
since they got them, since they split up.
Yep, since they split up. And both of them been fighting over Afghanistan the same as well.
And wait till South Korea and North Korea, who's sitting there, same exact race. I'm not sure what they are.
Yeah, they are. They're the same
race. And they can't wait to kill each other with nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do. But America and Russia have been stopping them from doing it. But now America and Russia are about to lose control or tell them to do it. And this is the end. And Barakatah Yahweh. Finally.
And if I could, North and South Korea are really, you know who North and South Korea are? They are really the children of Japanese rape. The Japanese ruled China for many years. And when they ruled China, the Japanese were bringing Chinese women into their harems and really into slavery. And then when all of that got broken up, they became what we know today as the Koreans and formed their own nation. So they really a break off of the Japanese and the Chinese, and they hate the Japanese. They hate them on twofold. They hate the Japanese because they're American allies, and they hate the Japanese because the Japanese is who created them by raping the Chinese. Because remember, Japan back then, brother, that empire was extremely powerful.
How'd I forget that?
Before World War II.
Chinese.
That's right.
They can't wait to kill each other.
Before World War II. So them old beasts are still holding. Hell, in America, the South still want to overthrow the North. They still want to overthrow the North. You understand? So like you said, all of that's gonna get broken up, and brother, everybody's gonna be able to go for their own. And brother, and you better go for your own. Some of you gonna be dumb and stupid as hell. You gonna go join the man that's been killing you, thinking he gonna love you. A lot of you black women that done married white men, your husband's about to leave you, and vice versa. You know, man, them white people about to go back to their own nation and get the hell away from you because it's gonna be about survival of their nation at that time. A whole lot, they ain't talking about it, but a whole lot of interracial couples have already broken up among Edomites, like during this whole Donald Trump phase. Okay, some black women even reported that their husbands and their husbands' friends was calling them niggas in their own house, where they like, my husband, he's gotten out of hand. He talking to me all different. He called me a nigga, this, that, and that. That's what's going on. Every nation is going back to his own. And brother, it's your nation better get ready to take care of his own. But go ahead, let's keep going.
If I could, sir, that reminds me of the story about the people that were trying to get on that train.
Which one?
In
the
Ukraine.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let him get on the train. Everyone has seen the video. If you want to play it,
I got the other video too where they wouldn't let him out the country.
Exactly. That's the exact same story. And you think about it, if you're some African or some Israelite in the Ukraine, the only way you get in the Ukraine is if some job recruited you.
That's right.
Just like the Puerto Ricans that work out there in that
plant.
In that plant in Oklahoma,
candle factory. I'm not
candle
sure
factory. They're in the Midwest because someone went to Puerto Rico and said, "We have jobs for you. Come over here." Well, if you're an African or an Israelite in the Ukraine, someone went to your country and said, "Come work in the Ukraine. Please come here. We want you over here." But the minute the Third World War starts, they are not going to allow you to get refuge or food. They're going to force you to stay in your city while everyone else evacuates, because that is biblical prophecy. All of the safety you thought you could have among another people is going away. A man shall flee to his own city, and you will not be allowed to go.
You don't want to be pushed back if you don't want to be arrested.
And Commander General Yohanna brought it out earlier, and it happened in the Ukraine. You have the video?
Show that video up. Yeah, that's it. This is a hell of a video of how they just decided they ain't letting them out. If you ain't a white Ukrainian, you just ain't getting out the country. They just said you can't cross the border, you can't get on a bus. They stuck over there in the middle of that country, which is, once again, all these nations go for themselves. And once again, a good lesson. Them Ukrainians had them over there to work jobs and run industries for them and make their country better. But the minute things got tough, they turned their back on them. And black people, you better learn that in here. The minute things get tough in this empire, they're going to turn on you too. They're going to turn on you like you ain't never seen before. That's going to happen in this empire as well. Go and play the tape, Bob. Check this out, y'all. This is going to be something to see.
For all illegals, if you don't want to be pushed back, if you don't want to be arrested, if you don't want to be shot, don't come to our borders. Do not come to the Polish border. Then you're safe. It's not us. It's not our police who came up to beat you up, to push.
Pause it for a second. If you don't want to be arrested, if you don't want to be shot, do not come to our borders. They in Ukraine. They saying don't come to our borders. We ain't letting you in. Check out what else they said. They said even more. Go ahead. Can you turn it up a little bit?
Yes, sir. I gotta mute us so we don't get an echo.
Go ahead. Do that.
I've got a message for all illegals. If you don't want to be pushed back, if you don't want to be arrested, if you don't want to be shot, don't come to our borders. Do not come to the Polish border. Then you're safe. It's not us. It's not our police who came up to beat you up, to push you, or to arrest you. It's you who tried to break the law on our land.
They asked Mr. Toczynski, how many refugees has Poland taken?
0.
And you're proud of that?
If you are asking me, if you are asking me about Muslims illegal immigration, none, not even one will come to Poland. Not even one if it's illegal. We took over 2 million Ukrainians who are working, who are peaceful in Poland. We will not receive even one Muslim because this is what we promised.
But I asked not about illegal immigrants. I asked about refugees. And Jean-Claude Juncker, the Commission.
In Ukraine, and you not a white Ukrainian, you ain't a refugee. You are now an illegal.
That's right.
If you are Ukrainian, then you are a refugee. And we'll accept you, we'll take you in, but you're not a Ukrainian, then the hell with you. Don't come to the border. You don't want to get shot or killed. Don't even come to the damn border. That's the real world. That's the real world that people are living in. They're not this fake pretend world that they try to show you. Now, that's not the one with the ones that's begging, why are you keeping us here? You got that one as well?
This is at the end of this.
That was the one I just sent you, right? That's the only one I sent you? Okay, I probably don't have it, but there's another one.
The whole thing, maybe it's at the end?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Say again? Okay, I'll see if I can find the other one. You can play it one more time. Go ahead and play it again. I'm going to see if I find the other one real quick.
I've got a message for all illegals. If you don't want to be pushed back, if you don't want to be arrested, if you don't want to be shot, don't come to our borders. Do not come to the Polish border. Then you're safe. It's not us. It's not our police who came up to beat you up, to push you, or to arrest you. It's you who tried to break the law on our land.
They asked Mr. Toczynski, how many refugees has Poland taken?
0.
And you're proud of that?
If you are asking me, if you are asking me about Muslims illegal immigration, none, not even one will come to Poland. Not even one if it's illegal. We took over 2 million Ukrainians who are working, who are peaceful in Poland. We will not receive even one Muslim because this is what we promised.
But I asked not about illegal immigrants. I asked about refugees. And
imagine being on the border of the Ukraine and you're ordered not to let in any Muslims. Now, how do you know who in the hell is a Muslim? You know who is a Muslim because Africans are Muslim. And so you're just keeping out the Africans.
Yeah.
And you're letting in the white people. And of course, if you're a woman with a hijab on, or if you are African, because Islam is one of the majority religions in Africa. So they're just looking at you and saying, we haven't let in one Muslim.
Not one.
Not one, which means you just keep out anybody who's not white.
That's it.
Because, of course, Islam is a belief in your damn mind.
Yeah.
So how would you know who is a Muslim unless they're different races? Then you could say if they're African, they're Muslim. And if they're white, they're not Muslim and they can come into our country as refugees. And this is in the Bible. What you just saw just now is in the book of Matthew.
Yeah.
right here when you will not be allowed to go into another man's land. They're not going to let you in their land, and simply the look of you keeps you out.
Damn.
The look of you means you're Muslim. That's it. You're dark skinned, which means, and that's why he said the Ukrainians who are peaceful, but no Muslims because they're not peaceful. Meaning you're the people of 9/11, you're the people of terrorism, you're the people of all these wars in Iraq.
You just ain't white.
Yeah, you're just not white.
Like once again, they know what has given them dominance around the world. This is why we are so dumb. We are so dumb because they know what made them dominant. What made them dominant is their racism against every dark nation in the world. Like that's what made them powerful and dominant. Adolf Hitler almost took over the world, taking care of his own people and putting everybody else underneath him, man. And they understand that. Only difference is the West just does it with better finesse. They've had us in slavery so long, they've learned how to become more smooth and more sophisticated with it. But they just as racist against us as every other nation on earth. We living in horrible conditions. That's why we brought out the other day about how all those ghettos look just like Ukraine. Like Ukraine is starting to look like the South Bronx. Ukraine's starting to look like Chicago, North Philly. You understand? Certain parts of different cities, every ghetto in America Ukraine is starting to look like it. Because why? A war has taken place on us. And that war that took place on us was just done so smoothly that you didn't even realize you was being bombed and destroyed and killed, and chemical warfare being played on you called crack and everything else, Oxycontin and everything else. You've been at war. You've been being crushed under war. You just don't see it. But the rest of the world knows that this is what they've done to make every nation get up under them. They did it they brought it out in the news, how the newscasters. Do we got that tape? If Mashak is on watching this show, Mashak, send Marad the tape of all the newscasters. We put this out. The newscasters, I might even be able to find it. The newscasters were all talking about the Ukrainian war and talking about it like this is not an Iraqi country. This is not an African country. These are middle-class Europeans. This is different. Even Fareed Zakaria, who's an East Indian, came on his show and said, they're not covering this because they are white people. They're covering this because Russia is a nuclear power. Bull crap.
A lot of people on TV
BS
didn't
because they didn't cover the suffering. I think you might that's it. Play that tape from the beginning, and I'll come back in. Check this out, man.
And I think, General, if I made the difference between America and the rest of them countries, America, they didn't master the art of enchantment.
Yeah.
With the media and the church.
Yeah.
Like that's why we don't see things like they are. And America, they good at saying we're against murder while stabbing you.
Yeah.
We're against murder. And church and media and propaganda, and we like, well, maybe they are against murder while they murdering you right still.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
America is the great whore.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to have sex with a whore. Like they want inside of America. Other countries, they got to force you. That America, you want inside of her.
And if I could, and he have mastered his true nature of a snake. Like America, they have mastered that movement of the snake. They are slow and methodical, and you don't see them coming. But brother, rest assured, brothers is living in the homeless shelters in every city is filled with black men. The Chinese restaurant got lines to the back of the door every night with black men. The unemployment lines filled with black men. The hospitals are filled with black men. I ain't got to tell you about the prisons are filled with black men. The graveyards and funeral homes filled with black men. That ain't a mistake. That's a war. That's a war, but being done so smoothly, you don't even see it coming. They crushing and breaking us every single day in this place. Play that tape with Trevor Noah right quick for me, Marah, if you can. Now, I don't know. Did they clip us on this tape before? We have an issue. Don't put it full. Put it small. I don't want them to pull it. You understand?
Didn't expect a war like this to happen in,
ahead.
Let's say, certain neighborhoods.
This is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
These are prosperous middle-class people. These are not people trying to get away from areas in North Africa. They look like any European family that you would live next door to.
What could be a difference here from other conflicts, you know, that could seem very far away, you know, in Africa or Middle East or whatever. I mean, these are Europeans that we're seeing being killed.
This isn't a place, with all due respect, you know, like Iraq or Afghanistan. You know, this is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen.
Wow. Yeah,
that was you choosing your words carefully.
Like, that's why he said choose your words like that. And remember now, those were reporters from around the world. Those wasn't just American reporters. Those were reporters from around the world. And all those reporters had the same thing. Like, these people feel inside when white people get killed, but they do not feel when they do not feel when the other nations get killed. You can bomb Iraq all day long. They ain't never gonna feel the way they feel about the killing of these Ukrainians. And because of that, they will, you know, have compassion and play and put it on the news and have it on rotation. Fareed Zakaria is dead ass wrong. This ain't got nothing to do with them being a nuclear power. A nuclear power, America bombed Iraq. Same, just like a nuclear power in Russia bombed Ukraine. Why was it that the footage all over the world for America's war never came out? You don't even know, you don't even have a clue what cities got bombed, what the names of them cities are, who got killed, none of that. Oh, they'll show you the footage when they had a hard fight like Fallujah, but they ain't show you the cities that they bombed into the Stone Age over there. But they will show you how Russia is bombing them Ukrainian cities into the Stone Age, because that's where their heart has compassion at. That's where their heart is at. And once again, why it's such a lie for you to have the same compassion for them, because they do not have the same compassion for you. They bringing it out in that news article. Like, that's the real world. The real world is these Edomites controlling the world. They know instinctively that they should be the one ruling the world, not the dark nations. And in their mind, eventually, they'll rule all the dark nations. That's the end goal. That's why they don't like the idea of the Ukrainians being bombed, because it's like a setback for their white supremacist agenda, man. It's a setback, and it's ingrained in them. And we so brainwashed here, we go to them like they love us, man. When that is a lie, man. None of that's true. Okay? So you got more. That was it on that footage, right? Where else we going, y'all? You know. I mean, they said they didn't allow one Arab to come across that border in Poland. They bombing them cities, but they stuck. I wish I could find that other video for you. That other video was so good because they was lined up, stuck in Ukraine, saying, what are y'all doing to us? Are y'all using us as human shields? Are we being used as bait? What are y'all doing to us? But anyway, if you're fine it. But if not, we'll move on. You know what I mean? Which is why we should so wake up. Go ahead.
Jussie Smollett, 150-day jail term in protected status.
Keep going.
Smollett began a 150-day jail sentence for staging a hate crime against himself.
And you should get the footage of this, because let me tell you something about this case that you should
show me which one it is.
Okay. Let me tell you something about this case that you need to see. This cat here, okay, now he's been convicted of falsely doing this crime, right? Mm-hmm. But he is so arrogant because homosexuality in America is so protected. All these are good, but none of these are the one I'm talking about. All of these are good. These are all the same, but this one I'm talking about, I mean, they straight up say we cannot get out of here. Why you got us stuck in here? Go ahead. Wait a minute, this might be it here. Hold on.
Can you read one more time?
Go ahead.
Khan, sir. Smollett began an 150-day jail sentence for staging a hate crime against himself in protective custody, separated from other detainees and watched by security cameras and an officer jail authorities said Friday.
So this is, of course, the story, sir, about Jussie Smollett, who was on that show Power. It was during the Donald Trump administration. He paid 2 Africans. One African allegedly was his sexual partner, paid them to beat him up. And then he called the cops and said that 2 white men said, "I love Donald Trump," and went to beat the hell out of him. Anything?
That one is probably the best. That's not the same, but it's probably the best. But let me just say, if I could, on this that you bringing out, what you bringing out is so strong on this. First of all, the arrogance of the LGBTQ community. First of all, here's what I want to know. How in the hell do you get caught and arrested for a false racial crime, and then the charges just simply get dismissed? That's what I'd like to know. In the city of Chicago, somebody on high had to say, dismiss them charges originally with him. They brought the charges back. But originally the charges were dropped. And not only did they bring him back, when they finally convicted him, they only gave him 150 days. And they had the whole city in an uproar. The police commissioner was angry that they allowed him to walk away. Who the hell picks up the phone and tells the district attorney, drop the charges? The district attorney of Chicago, and just drops the charges? Brother, the LGBTQ community is receiving white privilege. And here's what's so evil about it. What's so evil about it is, in essence, the empire is making a deal with you. If you're willing to give up your manhood and effeminize yourself, we will give you the same equal status as white people. Because that's what he's getting. He's getting the same status as white people because of his alternative lifestyle. They are a protected community now, just like Edomites are protected. And it's evil as hell. Play the part where he talks about where he argues back with the judge. Look after they convict him, listen to the arrogance of this lion-ass sodomite. And only because if this was any other defendant, if this was a black man committed of a crime, brother, they would have dragged him out of there. First of all, he'd have had security guards on right behind him. Second of all, they would have dragged him out of the courthouse for talking to the judge like that. But listen to this cat here, which once again, let me tell you what this case proves. This case right here proves that there is obviously an agenda by the empire to make black men into effeminate men. Because how could you be this protected by the district attorney? Go ahead and play it. Can you get it? Play it. Small box. Yeah, on all of them, because they flagged one of the videos last week.
No, I would just like to say to Your Honor that I am not suicidal. That's what I would like to say. Okay. I'm not suicidal. Okay. I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not suicidal. Okay.
He said in there that it's supposed to be huge in the black community.
Chicago.
And that is the fact that he said that for 400 years, you have not respected the black community or the LGBT community. The LGBT community ain't been around no goddamn 400 years. There wasn't nobody lynching you because you was a homosexual. Wasn't nobody doing that. They have married our black movement to that alternative lifestyle movement, brother, and it is shameful. It is disgusting what is taking place right there. And his arrogance, like if anything happened to me, jail time, he know goddamn well he pulled that false flag. Like them cops wasn't stupid. And boy, David Chappelle put it so right. He said it wasn't that we wasn't supporting them, is that black people knew it was fake from the door. He made a whole big skit about it. Black people knew it was fake from the door. And it shows you the length that they would go through for political gain. Remember, that was during Donald Trump's reign. To show you how disgusting they would be. So, Lockie, you don't jump in.
If I could, sir. And this is such an injustice to poor brothers and sisters who suffer from that mental illness called homosexuality. This is a mental illness. And because you're so protected and everyone is afraid of gay people are not going to be told that they're crazy. No one is going to say that to you. And you're going to suffer because everyone is afraid to criticize you. They're not going to suffer. They're going to just shut their mouths while you go to a gay pride parade naked, walk down the street covered in goat's blood, and no one will ever say, well,
yes,
you might need some help, man. I don't think you're right in your mind. Jussie Smollett is suffering because he's gay. No one can say, you are sick in your head. You can't tell him that, and it's going to hurt you. Let me tell you something else about prison. You're not allowed to be gay in prison. It's illegal to be gay in prison. You can't have a homosexual affair in prison. You're going to the hole. Homosexuality is not allowed in jail because it causes fights and problems and disease. And so when you go to jail, because you're the gay Tupac, they're going to say, we can't have that in here. You got to go into protective custody, and you can't be gay in jail because being gay in jail creates a dangerous environment in jail. But in jail, they're going to tell you. Like out here, they're not going to say anything about how dangerous your lifestyle is and how the people with your lifestyle are suffering a mental disorder. But when you go into the prison and you try to get a boyfriend, they're going to separate you two. They're not going to let you be together. You're going to get written up. You're going to have to go PC, and they're not going to allow you to hold hands walking down the goddamn main line because it's dangerous in there, because that behavior is sick and dangerous, and they're not going to let you do it in prison. See, the UPK, we're the first people to get canceled. Cancel culture, we suffered that a long, long time ago from telling the truth. From just simply telling everyone the truth. We were awake before being woke.
That's right.
Before being woke ever existed, we were awake. And we were canceled, Jesus Christ, Gen.YAHANNA, a long time ago. A long time ago, they canceled us because we tell the truth. Gay people, no one has the courage to tell you this, but that behavior is a symptom of a mental disorder.
Yes.
It's like thinking you're a chicken or a cat.
Yeah.
It's a symptom of a bigger mental
30 days.
disorder.
We also file a
You
motion.
go to prison and you say, well, I'm a gay man. I'm ready for rights and have a marriage with Jerome in here. They're going to separate you two, and they're going to write you up in prison because lesbianism is not allowed in a woman's prison and homosexuality is not allowed. You can't have a relationship in there because it's dangerous and destructive. Because out in there, they actually have to care about real life and what causes real life problems. And you're sick. And no one tells this brother that he's sick. And now he's going to jail.
And you know what's so, if I could, you know what's so evil as hell.
I'm sorry. He's not a brother. I apologize.
Yeah, I know. But they're using him for the
There you
same
go.
purpose, right? So what you're saying is dead on. And what's so evil about it is this: there's a lot of mental illnesses out there, right? But most mental illnesses are not easily and readily detectable. But the reason why it's so evil that they act like this, like homosexuality is not a disease, because the majority of homosexuals are victims of rape and child molestation. And they know this. It's like it's an obvious path. 5 minutes with a therapist, and the therapist asks you, have you been molested? And the minute that you answer the therapist, if his next question is, are you homosexual? It's obvious to the therapist that molestation is a connection to why you have an alternative lifestyle. But in society, something so obvious that a therapist or a doctor can spot. They're so easily spottable and then therefore treatable, they act like it's normal society. General Kathumgabar said this too, which is to the earlier point, which was so right. He said, and no one has been killed by white police, nor stopped by police for being gay.
Outstanding.
Exactly. Like, which is why they're using, which is, okay, it's doubly evil. Because in other words, they know we in a struggle. They know we crying out for justice and righteousness. They know it. They see it every day in every courtroom all over. So what do? Instead of giving us justice, they hijack our struggle and give our struggle now to the LGBTQ community. So now, out of that same cat's mouth comes the black struggle and the LGBT. Like, our so-called civil rights struggle is now their damn struggle, which is so evil and shameful to take their cause of an alternative lifestyle based on sexual assault and now make that the new civil rights movement and make it the new protected community and more protected than us, like General Kathum just brought out, because they ain't getting shot in the car for being that way. They ain't being arrested for being that way. They being arrested and killed if they're black, no matter if you gay or straight. So it's your color that's getting you killed. It's your identity that's getting you killed. You black or you brown in this so-called brown in this society, brother, you are a target. But for them to turn around and steal that from us is evil. And Clee 15 did say his dad's a white man. Somebody else said he's a which would make more sense that they would utilize him. They would utilize him because his daddy ain't even black. So they know. That's why you haven't been able to get a real black person in that White House except for the president's wife, Obama's wife. That was the only time you got him in that White House. They ain't never been in that White House, and they have no intention of letting the bloodline of Jacob sit in that White House over the top of over the top of the world. They have no intention of ever going there. Okay, Salaka,
if I can add to your point earlier about this empire pushing that agenda. You know, they have nonprofit shelters. The shelters, they call it, they try to shelter the homeless. So anybody that need housing or shelter, they bring them in. But it's mainly the LGBT, TQ, whatever community, right. They bring it in. You know what I mean? Young and black, you know what I'm saying, they're homeless. And one brother, he tell a story of how he went up in there, but then he found out that damn near everybody gay, and they kept expecting him to be gay. And he say he wasn't, but I don't believe it. But in the interview, he said he never did anything, but the boss kept flirting with him and introducing him, saying, yeah, he's heterosexual for now. And the cat looking like, man, he keep flirting with me. And then when he finally stepped and told him, look, I ain't never going to be that, he said he homeless again. They kicked him out. Dang. You understand? But this is just one. It's called a Lost and Found Youth. This is just one a nonprofit organization that shelter and take in anybody who needed homeless, but it's mainly for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer community. You know
like damn, like they set it up to make sure there's a fail safe for them, to make sure that they are protected to have this lifestyle. But meanwhile, listen, the LGBTQ community, you should reject it the most, because you should see you so selfish, you so dumb and selfish. You can't even see that you being used to further your lifestyle's agenda, and you don't care that they stealing it from black people and giving it to your alternative lifestyle and throwing black people to the curb. You don't even care. When I say black, I mean black, Latino, and Native Indian. You letting them get thrown to the curb while they steal your movement. And let me tell you something. Everybody steals your movement. Everybody steals our movement, which is why our struggle should not include anybody. And it damn sure shouldn't be a struggle over alternative lifestyles. Ain't nobody stopping these homosexuals from having the lifestyle they want. Who's stopping them? Who's stopping them? They act like, let one of them get beat up and killed in the street. Let one happen. It'll be all over the news. It'll be People magazine stories about how Bobby was such a good person and loved everybody. But he was queer. And they beat him and killed him on the street because he was out with his boyfriend. That'll be the damn story. But they won't say nothing about all the black men being killed in these streets. They won't say nothing about all of them that died by the hands of these cops, but they're going to say something about him. And you can't even see that that's a plot using your vanity. They know that you vain and dumb. First of all, they know that you broken because you've been molested. You understand? You live in this flamboyant lifestyle because you're trying to get your sense of dignity back. You've been undignified, and so you trying to come out and be a certain way because you're trying to get it back. And as you trying to get it back, you become vain, and they know you become vain. They know you desperate for recognition, so they use that. They use that, man, to say, yeah, you got to be recognized, and turn it into a crusade. And brother, they're using it to make black men homosexual every single way they can. They use it. It is a full-out act of evil against black men. When black men's masculinity is so necessary right now, man. Damn right. So that's it. You die.
Urgent manhunt underway to find suspect in shootings of 5 homeless men in New York City and D.C.
Keep going. Say that one more time.
Khan. Urgent manhunt underway to find suspect in shootings of 5 homeless men in New York City and D.C.
So they going around killing homeless men. Go ahead. You know what that is.
Khan.
See if you can find that footage of that Edomite that killed that brother in New York. They caught him on tape. Eventually, they caught him. He was a regular Edomite with an overcoat. I don't know if y'all remember that. This is going back a few years. He was a regular Edomite with a regular overcoat, looked like any white businessman walking down the street. And brother, there was a homeless brother in broad daylight. That Edomite pulled out a knife about this long, about the size of my machete. Pulled out a knife about this long out. And this brother was homeless and asleep. And he took that knife out and stabbed that brother to death while that homeless black man was asleep, and an older homeless black man, and walked away like nothing happened. If they had not had video footage of it, you would not have known about it. And brother, a lot of times that's Edomites. It's probably initiations. It's just like gang initiations. They probably got white supremacist initiation. We don't know. How would we know?
God. Somebody put a video up recently of a trailer. It was being told, but it was a trailer on the damn highway, all with the swastika on the side.
I saw that.
Be a man joined the Klan, and you know what I'm saying? I said, damn.
You understand? So he just out there just killing brothers randomly. Go ahead, read on your diet, Salaki General. Damn right. I saw that one too. I was like, damn. Go ahead.
Khan. 5 shootings targeting homeless men in New York City and Washington, D.C. over the past 2 weeks were carried out by a single suspect who is now the suspect of an urgent manhunt. The shootings.
And why New York and Washington? Plenty of black people in poverty there, both cities. Go ahead.
Khan. The shootings took place between March 3rd and March 12th.
And let me tell you something else too, if I could. This is shameful on us. That's why black leaders are vomit. Because this is shameless on us. We should not be tolerating in these cities our brothers being left on these streets. Like, we got no sense of what a nation is like. We've been in slavery so long that we got no sense of what it is to raise up a people. Like, black men are the most important part of any nation. Without them, you got no army. Without them, you got nobody to. Who gonna be your guards? Why you think everybody's shooting and killing freely? Because you don't have God. It should be security in every ghetto in America. That's right. Should be black security in every ghetto in America. Like, somebody poor living in the projects, okay, should be able to get up every day and go to school and go to work and come home and it not even be an issue. And there's plenty of brothers who would be willing to do it. Give them the authority and the power to do it, brother, and they will do the damn job. And those that seek to prey on their own people and to calm and kill their own people, guess what? Those brothers would stop that nonsense. Esau do it all the time. He called them gated communities. That's right. Gated communities are for you to go up. You can't just walk up in there and do what you want to do. That guard at the door got cameras. He got walkie-talkies to other guards. His job is to make sure that them Edomites go in the gated community safely and come out the gated community safely. What's wrong with us doing the same with ourselves? We could do the exact same thing. First of all, we shouldn't be in any housing that's owned by somebody else in the first damn place. The first order of business should have been to give all that back to Esau. Because they designed exactly like prisons. You ever see an overhead shot of the projects? Take it. This is what you do tonight. This is good homework. Go on Google Earth or even just the maps and look up a project in the maps. Go overhead, get the satellite version, screen capture it. Then I want you to go over, look up a federal penitentiary in your state. Use the Google as well. Go over it, photograph it, and screen capture it. And look at both of those pictures, and you're going to be shocked at what you see. That the projects are designed exactly like a prison is, with the different wings on the building and everything. It's exactly the same. Only difference is the projects are stacked higher because they can't house but so many prisoners in one prison. But you can house as many poor people as you want. So the same building that's 3 stories high in the penitentiary is 20 stories high in the projects. Same building, same setup. Only difference is they got bars and gates on the one that's in the prison, and then the one that's in the projects, all the gates is open and locks is all broken. That's the only difference. Go do it when you get a chance. You're going to see something that's going to shock you. But why can't we turn that into something that we're supposed to? And we better do it. Right now, let me tell you something, according to these scriptures. Right now is the time of preservation for brothers and sisters. Right now is that time where we're supposed to be really getting ready to preserve brothers and sisters and straighten out black leadership and get everybody on board to fix blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. It's an emergency that is supposed to be done. Like, we could fix all of this if we wake the hell up. And then we can start getting on the right track to get ready, because we're going to have to meet Christ when that time comes. When this war go all the way down to the get down, you better be ready to meet Christ at that time, because it's going to happen. And you're going to be shocked when it does. We should have all of that, man. Every neighborhood. We don't have to let brothers who's weak-minded turn around and sell drugs for the slave master and kill us in the process. Like, why do we have to do that? Why do we have to turn around and live in the housing that they created and have them extort our families for 20 generations, man? Why do we got to do that? Why haven't we moved in that? Every other nation moves in that direction. Every other nation. In every major city, you have a major Korean neighborhood, a major Chinese neighborhood, a major Arab neighborhood, a major Jewish neighborhood in every ghetto, and you don't even see them. You don't even know where they live at. You have no idea where they even live at. They're usually on the outskirts of the city, on the ends of the city, or in the farthest area of the city, and they got a whole neighborhood. And they own the stores and the real estate and everything in their neighborhood, and they got full economics going for themselves. But you are constantly in the slave pit, endlessly, man, in the iron furnace, like the Lord said. And you should wake up. You should wake up and start to come out of it. Come on with it. Was there more on that? Go ahead.
$2 billion genetically altered mosquitoes will be released in Florida and California to fight disease.
This is some real dummy mess here. This is like, whoever's doing this is a real dumb.
Sound like a good idea.
Yeah, man.
What could go wrong?
Right. This is
it usually work out on the movies.
Right. You know, man, like, whoever this is a dumb right here. This is some cat that went to school, got a PhD, and now he gonna do something that's going to be a mess. Go ahead,
The study has faced backlash, with some environmental advocacy groups criticizing both the purpose and methodology. Billions of genetically modified mosquitoes are expected to be released within the next 2 years.
Did you say billions?
Of
genetically modified mosquitoes. Like, God damn. Go ahead, Salaki.
Khan, sir. Billions of genetically modified mosquitoes are to be expected to be released within the next 2 years as part of an expanded version of Environmental Protective Agency study, but the project is receiving criticism from advocacy groups that believe it could be dangerous. The EPA said in an announcement Monday that it will extend its current study into reducing the population. A mosquito commonly found in the United States through April of 2024. The EPA is looking to broaden its work to Monroe County in Florida and 4 counties in California under the project's revised environmental use permit. The EPA is permitted to release nearly 2.5 billion mosquitoes containing a protein called tetraclane, trans-advocator variant into the wild.
Wait a minute, did it say tetracycline?
Kanawakan.
Tetracycline?
Tetracycline?
Tetracycline, sir.
Tetracycline is a animal antibiotic. That's what it like when your dog or your cat get an infection, they give it tetracycline. That's what it's for. So they're gonna put the tetracycline in the genes of the mosquito to pass the tetracycline around. Like, what a dummy, what an idiot. And once again, like, the Most High is way too more sophisticated than man. You would study under that microscope for 1,000 years, you will never figure out the whole workings of the Most High. He even challenged this beast to do it. You go in the bottom of the ocean and tell him what's there. Give me a weight of a flame. He charged them with that. He said,
go now to thine enchanters. See if they will save thee.
Right. See if them witches and scientists can now deliver you from what the Lord is about to do. And that's what they're attempting to do right here, which of course, is going to backfire. Of course, it's going to be a mess because you cannot deal with the Most High's creation. There's nothing you could do about it. You can't deal with yourself on this earth, let alone attempting to try and alter mosquitoes on the planet. Okay, you see what happened over there in Wuhan, messing around with them bats and all of that nonsense. You know what I mean? Eating bats or eating abominations. You ain't even eating what the Lord said to eat and not eat. Now you're going to try to alter mosquitoes. Brother, that's going to just be more hell on this earth. Don't think the coronavirus is a rat. I know Corona done fell to the background because Ukraine. Corona, like the bell ain't rung. He ain't come out for round 3 yet. Corona in there like, yeah, round 3 coming up. He waiting till the bell ring. He coming right back out. He just chilling now while the round is over. Ukraine got to get the light now. But more coming. More is coming. And listen, and the Lord going to force you to follow those laws, statutes, and commandments. You're going to stop eating pork or you're going to die. You're going to stop eating crab or shrimp or you're going to die. You're going to stop being living an alternative lifestyle or you're going to die. Like, it was such a lesson to learn for those of you that was back then during the AIDS virus. I was back then, brother. During that AIDS virus, brother, before the AIDS virus in New York City, they had what they called the Village. Is it the Village or was it a twofold name? It was the Village, right?
It was the Village.
It was the Village. Mm-hmm. And the Village had gotten so decadent with homosexuality during the time of Mayor Dinkins, I think it was in the 80s, during the time of Mayor Dinkins, that they had a club called the Anvil. You know what an anvil is, right? An anvil is that big piece of steel that you use to bang metal on when you are a metal smith. That's what they used to use to make swords and bend metal with. It's that big square piece called an anvil. Well, they named this club the Anvil. Why? I don't know. But they put, this is a club now where you go party and have drinks at. They put a giant tub in the middle of the dance floor and nailed it down and put, bubbly water in the tub. And men would get naked and climb in the tub. Now, people dance, homosexuals dance on for mainly them ones that wear that leather with the studs and all that, them types.
Yeah.
And brother, they would masturbate in the tub on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Where the naked cat was in the tub. Dinkins said, that's too much. He had to come in and he had to shut it down. He said, it's a health risk.
Right.
He came down and shut down like 20 clubs in this one area. This was a small area of Manhattan. Right after that, the AIDS virus came. And brother, that AIDS virus came through there and it killed. Coronavirus ain't really do them like that AIDS.
No.
That AIDS came through there,
That
brother. He was a real judo expert. Yeah. Because what was so amazing about the AIDS viruses, it was damn near only killing homosexuals. To where they were saying it's killing straight people too. But a lot of them was closet. Back then, the closet was big. Wasn't no that many out. But the homosexual community got wiped out. Did it not?
Oh, it was just insane. And when you hear about the gay civil rights movement, what they're actually talking about when you research it is how the police were shutting down gay clubs and beating them up for having sex in public.
Yeah.
Like, remember, if you were oppressing a gay person, you can't look at him and tell he's gay. They were oppressed. They knew they were gay because they were having sex in that bar.
Yeah.
In Stonewall down in San Francisco, the Village in New York, the cops would break in the door and beat him up and throw him in jail. How'd they know who to beat up? The naked man having sex in the basement of Club 54.
In the alley.
Yeah, he's there.
On a light pole.
Right, like they
the
had
park.
sex in the park in public. And then now they call that the civil rights time for gay because they were being oppressed. Because they wanted to have sex in bars, on the bar, in public.
Even today, in many cities, they still have a big homosexual sex in the parks at night. Anybody that know about it know about them parks at night. Them parks at night, brothers, not no place for no straight man to be at night. It's a lot, unless you got some brothers with you. You know what I mean? Y'all know what y'all dealing with because that's big in them parks. And so the Lord put hell on them for that. Yeah. And guess what? The coronavirus is coming to do the same thing. And anybody that told you is not is lying to you. That's why they was dumb as hell for you to listen to these fools that told you not to take the vaccine. Don't take the vaccine. Don't take the vaccine. People still dropping dead right now. You go to the hospital right now. Let me tell you something. University of Penn, brother, I was just down there a day or two ago checking on a sister. And let me tell you something. The University of Penn, since the coronavirus out, has built 2 skyscrapers full of beds. 2, you go down there now, it's like a whole different city. They tore down the convention center and built a skyscraper full of beds. That's how many people was getting sick and still getting sick right now. That's the Lord's hand. Like the Lord is going to force righteousness in you. And if you don't give it to him, you're going to die in this place right here. I'm going to let you get one more in, man, before we run. What you got? Y'all was going to say something on it?
No.
Let's keep going. Last one. What you got? Give me your best shot.
It says Eric Adams defends NYPD officers after search involving teen rapper C Blue.
Go ahead.
After a Bronx judge found that NYPD officers' claims that a man refused to take his hands out of his pockets during a search didn't line up with evidence, New York Mayor Eric Adams is defending the officers in question. Adams claims that he doesn't believe the officers should be demonized, per the New York Post, following their search and arrest of 16-year-old rapper who has since been accused of allegedly shooting Officer Kasim Pennant.
Keep going.
What
I'm really hoping you get to is where they describe whether or not these were plainclothes officers. Because here's the thing. Remember, this new mayor said he was going to bring back them squads. And here we are. And brother, once again, I grew up with them squads. And them squads, brother, they used to call them the jump out boys or the TNT. And they would pull up in an unmarked, not no unmarked police car. They'll pull up in any car. They pull up in a convertible, any kind of car. And they pull up and jump out, brother, and hit you on that car 4 or 5 deep with guns. You think you being murdered in there. Drag you out the car, abuse the hell out of you. Man, we went through all kind of hell with them, man. I almost lost my brother behind it twice. I had 2 incidents where I knew that they was going to kill my brother, and I knew that I was going to die on that corner because they were so ridiculous. And once again, you can't give an Edomite power like that, because he can't not abuse you, because he don't see your humanity. He only sees the humanity of the Edomites. And that's why we should fix us. This brother think he's doing the right thing. He gonna stop crime. Really, he works for the rich. The poor can suffer all they suffer. He could give a damn about that. And neither do the rich. They could care how much you suffer. What they don't want is you to revert to your natural survival instincts, which is what happens when you in such horrible, horrible conditions. We in 2022. The world is so connected. There's no reason for blacks and Latinos to still be suffering on the edge of a paycheck and in such horror and hell right now. There's no reason for it in the richest country in the world. This place here got more cash to do. They just gave $64 billion to Ukraine. Just like that, boop, wrote a check. Just like that, turned on the spigot and started putting out billions of dollars of gasoline. This country is richer than you could ever imagine, but you are not a part of it. And they will starve you to death in this place. And they don't care. They just want to make sure you don't now become a criminal. And if you do, they want to make sure they have what it takes to stop you. This cat going to unleash on this city. You're going to hear about hundreds of stories like this, because this cat going to unleash what he unleashed on this city amounts to terrorism. And that's why even the Washington Post, who have traditionally been racist against black people, even they had to come out and say that this ain't right, because they know how you going to say the solution to crime is to terrorize everybody in the city. Like, that's not a solution to crime. You better find a better solution, because that ain't a solution. Terrorize everybody in the black community. You, in essence, going to wipe them the hell out. Otherwise, why don't you get the hell out and just let us take care of the crime? If you're going to do that, you're going to wipe us out to take care of crime, then you might as well let us take care of the crime. The hell you doing? Like, instead of making deputies of everybody in Tennessee, make deputies of every black man that don't have a criminal record. I bet you crime be over tomorrow. Because we know who we know everybody who they are. We'd be like, look, you can't do that no more. It's just done. And brothers will understand it, especially if they can be risen up out of this hell. We got to fight for us. Everybody else is fighting for themselves, man. Did you get that part? Was you able to get it? Say again? Okay. Oh, they didn't say it. Yeah, because I'm almost certain that's one of them. And let me tell you something else, too, about plainclothes police officers. It's particularly a vexation to be pulled over by plainclothes Edomites and be abused by them. Like, it's one thing when he in the uniform, but it's like something psychological when he ain't in that uniform. He got on a sweat hood that say, the Celtics on him. You know what I'm saying? And a baseball cap, this cat jump out and putting a gun up in your face. He don't look like a cop. You know what I'm saying? He look like some devil with a gun in your face. And it's particularly difficult for black men to just be like, good afternoon, officer. Would you like my license and registration? When he talking to you and treating you like, he's scared to death for his goddamn life. Brother, this is an evil, evil place, and the Lord bringing judgment on it, and it's going to end. That's right. Is that it on that? No more in that story? With that, Passover, April 13, 14, 15, 13, 14, 15, 16, hell, the whole damn week. We're going to be up in there doing all kind of activities, man. Put us up in the game. Captain Zaryak, April 2nd, he's doing it up. Alhambra Ballroom, New York City. Look that up. I'll see y'all next time live on the UPK. Thanks to the heavy hitters in the building, y'all. Shalom.
No cowards in our camp,
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the Lord.
Y'all see this?
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I got it like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel room. You know what I mean? Yeah. This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck, you can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud, straight up out the base.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The week of Passover is packed with exciting events, hosted by the I.S.U.P.K. and Commanding General Yahanna. On Tuesday, a deep-sea fishing trip with the generals. Arrival and boarding time at 7:30 a.m. The boat leaves at 8 a.m. sharp. Then on Wednesday, April 13th, join us for the annual lamb slaughter from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., making sure the children of Israel have fresh lamb for the Passover. Then, after that, the I.S.U.P.K. is having a fish fry from 4 p.m. until, which will lead to the scripture breakdown class with General Mahina. Then, on Thursday morning, Hebrew Academy participants will see if they have what it takes to endure the Hebrew Academy trials. Commanding General Yahanna has something special lined up for the children with a children's party from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Come join Commanding General Yahanna on Cocoa Beach as we renew our oath unto the Lord.
Because he's supposed to understand the power of the Most High that would destroy him and will destroy him. Real soon. Read.
That assuredly, knowing unto what oaths they had given credence, they might afterward be of good cheer.
You hear that? They was of good cheer. Came along with the Lord as one. And became of good cheer while tens of thousands of Egyptians died. I know y'all don't like to talk about this, but you better put this war spirit back in you, Israel. You better get that spirit back in you, man. You better get that spirit of warfare back in you, because the Lord will put blood on the streets of America and around this world, brother.
Followed by a hotel ballroom, all black and Hebrew Academy dinner from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then on Friday, April 15th at 5 p.m., join us for the Lord's annual Passover as commanded in the scriptures at 5 p.m. sharp. On Saturday, April 16th, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's right, we're going to keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Commanding General Yahanna has it all lined up for you, Israel. Come keep the Lord's Passover. Shalom.